Welcome everyone to our data science resume review session with our expert data science mentor, Surya Ramachandran. It is an absolute pleasure to see you all here today. So moving on, in this session, we'll be reviewing a few selected resumes that you guys have submitted to us. So we have made an effort to classify the classify the resumes into three buckets in order to ensure it helps each one of us to take away something tangible which can be applied to every resume for data science roles. So we'll be covering three resumes in total. For the first part, we will consider the applicants who are currently applying as fresher roles to data science profile. And secondly, we will be looking at crafted resumes for candidates who are already in the industry and want to migrate into technical domains, specifically data science. And thirdly, we will focus on the complex set of resumes for candidates who are already in the technical domain, but are unfortunately unable to receive positive responses from the recruiter. Hence, thereby we make an attempt at passing over major boundaries for our resume discussion, so you all can benefit and implement the ideas shared in this session to better craft your resumes ahead of time. So a little bit about Surya. So Surya, we are glad that Surya connected with us for this session today. And Surya is currently working at Fractal Analytics, where he consults Fortune 100 clients to help them leverage data and make better decisions. And he has also been associated with Toastmasters International for 4 years, where he has been awarded the highest certification for excellence in communication, leadership, and public speaking. Surya has also conducted multiple workshops in association with training and placement departments to equip students with the right interview skills for placements. And Surya graduated with a Bachelor of Technology from NIT Tricky, with broad research experience in natural language processing, perspective analysis, and multiple criteria decision analysis. Surya also bagged a Best Paper Finalist award in the recent conference Informs held in the year 2021. So along with this, Surya is also an expert data science mentor with Viewing Learning, where he trains budding data scientists to channelize their efforts in the right direction. And his absolute zeal and passion is what actually keeps us motivating to have more such community sessions and bring on the helping spree. So Surya, please feel free to introduce yourself in case I have missed out on anything, and take the review session forward from here.
Okay, first of all, thanks a lot for that good introduction, Deepanshu. And especially thanks to Viewing Learning. So these guys, a bunch of enthusiastic people have been trying to get the industry practitioners in connect with students and other people who are trying to enter the industry or already in the industry to better themselves as far as resume, job profiles are concerned, etc. You guys have been doing a great job, and thanks for this opportunity so that I could help more people. So first of all, that's there, Dipanshu. And secondly, guys, I saw Dishant's face. Now he disappeared. So if you guys can, turn on your cameras, we can have a live interaction. It'll be, hey, Dishant. You're the first brave man, huh? So the others, so if you guys are comfortable, only if you guys are comfortable, turn on your cameras.
Come on, Chetan, show some spirit, man. Yeah, hey, Chetan, that's there.
Hey, Chetan, nice to see you.
So for those of you who do not know, Chetan has actually exercised our mentorship before. We already have been in touch with Chetan, where he wanted to come. He wanted to make a transition to data analytics, and yeah, we are glad to help you out, Chetan, and we are glad to see you here again. That you are still in touch, and we would love to be be in your association for months and months to come.
We can't hear you, Chetan.
Chetan, I guess your microphone problem. Since the last session, you haven't fixed it up. Okay, no worries.
No worries, Chetan. Yeah, we'll continue the session. Giving you expectations, right? Today we'll be working on resume building only. So an overview, we have freshers, we have people from data science as well. And finally, we have people who have a good expertise in data science, but who haven't broken into the industry yet, and people who are trying to break into the industry. So we have a good range of classification, right? So I picked up one person from fresher side, their resume. One person was an experienced data scientist, their resume. And finally, a person who's trying to move from other fields to data science field. So I took these three resumes that kind of depicted the overall resume collection that we got. So that once I run you through these resumes, right, the feedback which I can give you can try implementing for your resumes as well. So if the resume that I picked is yours, it's a good luck to you. So yes, and
Thank you.
apart from that, few resumes, right? There was something glaringly wrong. The moment I opened it, I felt like, hey, this has to be addressed. So I have got those resumes as well. We'll address that too. So to begin with, let me go and share my screen. So I'll quickly share my screen. Guys, my screen visible?
Yes, Surya. To me, it is.
Yes,
Okay. So for the purpose of anonymity, we won't tell whose resume this is or give information that personally identifies this person. So this is one of the resumes that was submitted to us. So so we'll be working on this resume to see the kind of mistakes freshers usually make when they make a resume. So now I'll give you guys 2 minutes, a minute for each page, and quickly jot down what errors do you think are there in this resume. So I want you guys to learn to find issues so that you can fix your own resumes. So does that sound good for everyone?
Yes, yes, yes. We'll do it.
Great.
Others? I like some feedback in the session, guys. Unmute and talk, don't chat. So I can't see you chatting. So maybe one or two of you guys says, is this fine?
yes, sir. Is this fine?
This is fine, right? Okay, great. So it's 4:16 now on my laptop. So guys, take 2 minutes, look at this resume and note down your points. How you think you can improve this resume? Okay, guys. So yes, who wants to share their feedback on this resume? How would you have improved this resume if the person was you?
Can I
What you
start?
would you have done different?
Uh,
Yes, yes.
the first of all, the first page was of academic history. Instead of writing in a, it was not written in a chronological order. Means it should be written first BTech degree, then 12th, and then 10th, and it must be in a proper format. And an experience. Okay, that's good, but it involves like that. It's not an experience, I would say. That is
Hmm.
just a learning part. And in training history, uh, there are a lot of mistake in training history. First of all, if you are learning on Python, you don't have to mention where have you learned from, especially if it is not from a renowned industry or a platform. And in a skill set, it is mentioned like basic Python programming, quick learner. And quick learner is a strength, I would say. Python for data science and learning data science are like coinciding with each other. So that's not good for any resume, and it's too long, I would say. And in second page, most of it was good, I would say.
Got it. Got it. Nice. Actually, very nice analysis. You actually cover at least 25% of the points what I was going to say. So it was spot on. And anyone else? Anyone else? Guys, open up. So as far as data science is concerned, right? It's an intersection of both technical and business. So half the time you'll be interacting with people from different specialities. And one of the biggest, a brownie point for you is people who can open up, speak up, interact in groups. That's one skill you'll have to build. So I think this today will be a good platform for that as well. So open up, tell me what could have been done better here.
I would say to all participants that if you don't speak up, you won't improve your communication skills, I would say. That's very important in data science domain.
Yes,
Sir,
Priya. Yes, Priya.
Priyanka, not Priya.
Okay, yes. Okay, Priyanka,
Here,
got it.
no problem, sir. Here I have academic history, and it's it's from class 10, 12, or plus 2, whatever it is, and whatever you have um, you have done in your graduation. On your graduation, sir, it is on your graduation or in your graduation, which will be right,
Come again, on your graduation,
or in your graduation, which will be right.
where is it mentioned?
Sir, I am try to improve my English speaking,
Okay,
and
okay.
I am
So
upset. So
you
that's why
don't.
if
Uh, hmm.
I am saying anything wrong, tell me and correct me.
Yes,
And
yes, 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 yes.
okay, thank you,
I
sir.
didn't get your question. Like you, if you want to mention the college from, right, you don't have to write sentences like on your graduation or in your graduation. You can just write your college and your degree. And that's enough. So resumes need to be pointers. You don't have to build sentences. So yeah, that's Priyanka.
Okay, okay, thank you, sir.
Got it. Okay, let me quickly run you guys through. So first thing, as Dishant pointed out, right? He said it's not in chronological order, but it's actually in. So the person mentioned 10th first, 12th first, BTech. That's chronological order. But the issue is your resume need not be in shouldn't be in chronological order. The main purpose of your resume is to make sure that you highlight the most important things on the top. So which would be the most important thing is BTech degree. So have that particular order to start with. And one more thing that this particular resume had an issue was when this resume was sent, the name stored, right? It was stored as Python data science resume. Now the issue is when you send your file with such a name, people will think like, hey, this person has different resumes for different profiles and probably sending to multiple companies. The person is not sure of what he or she wants. And this all of us do, okay? It's good to have, buckets of different resumes. Okay, when I was searching for jobs, so I had a data engineering profile, I had an analyst profile. If the role is more towards the business side, I had another profile where I highlight different things. So it's good to have, but you send it, make sure you edit it, change it. Another person, one of the submissions today had the company's name in it. So probably that person submitted that company and he didn't change the resume's name when he submitted the other company. So if this happens, he knows that, hey, this person has multiple offers, is probably checking in multiple companies, or not even has the attention to detail to change the name. So my suggestion would be to have your full name and the date. So probably if this resume was created in say June, have like, hey, Dishant Dishant Kumbar June. So that way the person know, hey, this is the person's name and this was the latest update when resume was updated. So this is one pointer to how to save your resume when you send it to a company. So I wanted to say that. Second, yeah, as you said, not chronological order is not the priority. Your importance is the priority. And few more things to cover on this. Over here, right? If you see the entire formatting should be similar. The font over here is different. I mean, it's fine to have a different font down, but you need to maintain consistency. If you see the organization of the school is in particular bold and has a particular text size. But over here, the same college name is different. College or inter-college is different. So you need to maintain consistency in your document. You can have a few variety of text sizes, but make sure that every element in that particular category there's some consistency. And similarly, right, this is something all of us do. Whenever we write a resume, we might have some issues with the spelling, or we want something from the internet, a fancier word. So all of us, what we try to do that is that we search the net, we copy paste it. See, is what will happen if you do that copy pasting work. Can you see, learn the basic of intellectual property and rules of the patent search? Can you guys see how patent search looks very different over here? So this is something even I have done and something that was pointed out to me once. So please don't do that. It's something all of us do. We search the right fancy word, we copy paste it. This is how you get to know that it's copy pasted. So be very cautious. If you're going to copy it, paste it in your notepad. From there, copy it and paste it inside. Or just keep only text when you paste it. So be very cautious about this and maintain consistency in your coloring. If you have some blue, keep it consistent, spacing, your text size, your style, everything, keep that consistent. And finally, right, there are some very good points about this resume as well. If you see, she has said, I improved my rank from this particular rank to this particular rank. So this is a good idea. This gives you how much a person has improved. At the same time, I do not know what, the importance of this 638. If I'll know it better if she has the total number of people. Maybe 638 out of just 1,000 people may not be very attractive, but 638 out of probably a lakh number of ranks, that's very, very attractive. So use these specifications. When you say you're from a good college, don't tell me you're from a good college. Tell me what percentile it is in, what rank it is in, what is your acceptance rate over there. Give me those kind of statistics. And similarly, she says, the person says, I secured first position in the first round of talent search expedition. So this, what skills was it checked upon? How many people participated? You need more details to add validation to these things. So these were quickly few pointers that I wanted you guys to update on. So this is a fresher's resume. And almost most of the freshers resume that we received have these kind of issues only. So I just wanted to touch on that. And finally, yeah, whatever is important, you need to write more about it, right? The person said she did an intern in TT Consults, but there's nothing written much about it. Learn the basic of intellectual property and rules of patent search. Anyone can learn it. Even internet is enough. But what did she contribute during the internship? Did we assist her? So we need more detailing over here. So this is the industry experience that'll be valued. So we need more detailing. So that I would say focus on what's important, detailing. And finally, when you write a resume, right? Some people might write, hey, participated in cultural event, dance. So the same thing can be written a different way. Was a dancer in multiple cultural event. So this sounds more attractive, right? The person did this performance in multiple areas. When you say participated in cultural event dance, we don't know if it's a competition or not. So is that a participation thing? Only she went for it. When you write it like, hey, performer in multiple cultural events, it shows as if she did something bigger. So the way you present the same detail has a very big difference. So how you portray things. So yeah, so be very cautious with these things. Your formatting, the way you save it, and the way you portray the things that you said, and have more detailing to the things that are very important. So this is about the freshers. Now let's take up uh, another resume. So this resume really, oh yeah, someone had some
Sir,
question.
I have some question.
Yeah,
Sir,
yes,
if
Priyanka.
someone gets 50% marks in their class 10 and someone gets 85 or 90, um, if she or he who get 50%, if he or they want to uh, show in their CV's rank or resuming, um, but they, I want to say that I am getting 50% marks. It will very essential to show 50% marks, and I get chance
Okay.
getting. Hello.
Dipanshu,
Yeah.
can you, Mohammed, if you're on call, yeah, thank you. Yes, I got your question, Priyanka. So you wanted to say like, hey, if my score is a little less, should I write it or not, right? Is that your question?
Yes, sir. And sir, I
Yes.
got IBM certificate, one that's on artificial intelligence. I am IBM certificate. I can show that one. But even I
Yes. Yes.
got low marks in my 10 secondary education, and higher secondary it is 60. It's low profile. Nah, that's
Yes.
why I'm asking.
Okay. So when you're going for an industry, right? So they don't really consider too much about your, college school scores. So it is totally fine if you feel your 12th mark was very high. and you have good certifications and courses and experience, it's okay to even omit your 10th standard school. It's fine. Just give your 12th mark and say, put on things that are more important on your profile. So that is what I would say. And it's completely fine. So even when I apply, I never have my school scores mentioned. I probably have my 12th score mentioned, but not my 10th. So even when I came out as a fresher. So that's totally fine, Priya.
Yes,
So
sir.
any other
So
questions,
I
guys?
should mention my 12 higher secondary marks and others, whatever I did till now.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
that's enough. You can
Thank you,
do
sir.
that. Yes,
I
Priya.
too have one question.
Okay.
Uh,
Yes, Dishant.
do certifications matter? If yes, then what platform do recruiters really believe in that they offer the most reliable certificates? And what type of certificate one must do? Means it is essential for being recruited.
Okay, this is going little bit outside today's resume building session, but on a quick pointer for you, yeah, certifications. When you do not have work experience, internship experience in analytics company, then the third thing would be projects or your your courses. So courses are valued in companies as well. Coursera's. So if you see a lot of big college tax would be there on certain courses in Coursera. So those kind of courses also have a lot of value. So courses do, but they only come after your work experience. If you don't have internship experience, then it comes down to courses. So probably I would say pick up smaller projects, side projects, try to have it in your GitHub or something, and put it in your resume. That way it'll look more interesting. So yeah, that's from my side. Okay, so next, this person is pretty much into. He has a lot of experience in data analytics and data science, and as you see, he is very experienced. His resume looks very presentable, and it's very readable as well. So it's very intuitively readable. So everything is good. Now I want you guys to take a minute or two and see what can be done better over here. So, and I think this particular template was used by many people when they submitted their resumes for our session. So it's a very good template as well. Now I want you guys to take a minute or two and see what can be done better over here. So this might be a little tricky because this is from an experienced person. Yes. Does anyone have any ways to improve this? I think Nishant will go last. So if you have anything also. So, oh, Nishan is nodding no. So he's finding it hard to find trouble. So he likes his resume, that means. The others, I think there are more experienced people also, right? If you guys can share, it'd be helpful for the freshers also over here. Anyone wants to share how to improve this resume? What's the issue with this resume?
I feel more than the negative points, there are mostly the plus points of this resume, and
Hmm.
how he has put on the skills with specifically in a box and highlighted it. It sort of like
Hmm.
summarizes his strengths. And
Okay.
yeah, other than that, I don't know if education was supposed to appear first and then his personal projects and then the work experience. But I don't know if that's right or wrong. Other than that, how he has highlighted all the font sizes and then the smaller fonts along with it, it's come out well. How you could easily pick out what he's done specifically would be easier when it's like this. I feel.
That's a very good review about this resume. So Apurva, what do you do? It's Apurva who
I'm
was
doing my
that?
BCA right now.
Okay, nice, nice. That was a very good, review of this resume. So yeah, this resume is actually pretty good. Let me open it, go scroll it up. It was very nicely done, had all the informations the right way. As you said, formatting is very good. So it's very, you have the bigger titles, the smaller titles, and the firm, what he did, the work is nicely mentioned. But from a data science perspective, there is one big issue with this resume. The thing is, he has done a lot of technical work, and but when the person, right, he or she wrote about that work, it doesn't sound very technical. For example, if you see over here, it says used Google BigQuery to send Spotify data sales inside the database. So you can probably say use Google BigQuery to store data or something of sort. I know this word like sales inside the database sounded a little bit non-technical or sounded very, a little bit of a low-level writing for
Less
the technical
technical.
side. Yes, it is less technical. Exactly, that was the word I was. Thanks for helping me. And if you see over here also, right? Let me zoom in a little. Why can't I scroll down? Okay, this is a very good project. He did some exploratory data analysis and stuff. You see, he mentions, then I had cleaned up the data and made sure that it's being arranged in a proper data frame, after which have explored the data as much as possible. Any person reading this will have a, perception. If I was taking this interview, the moment I read it, I'll be like, hey, this person doesn't know to use the technical words, probably is not very technically experienced. This would be my personal perspective if I read the data. Okay, this resume. Chetan has some question. Yes, Chetan. Chetan, we still can't hear you. Maybe we can type it out. Built using Airflow. So this is a very good input. I mean, good way of telling what was the output. So he said like, hey, I increased the efficiency. This is a very good way, but just an additional, recommendation would be to give some measures. How much was the efficiency increased by? And because of this improvement in efficiency, what happened? So if you have these statistics, right, it makes your work more valid. So tell what you did and by how much it has an impact and have these metrics in place. But I need to clearly applaud this person. Say he mentioned what he did over here, but he also mentioned the technologies used. He said, hey, I used NumPy, Pandas for data manipulation, Seaborn for data visualization. This is something very good that I appreciate, because now the recruiter will know what all packages or he's comfortable with and what all techniques he's comfortable with. So this is a very good resume that way. So yeah, I think similar errors were found in different places. That is the only thing. And apart from that, uh, I personally like this kind of formatting, because when entire sentence across the entire page, right, it's a very long sentence. It's hard to read. When you have it like, in left and right two columns, it's easier to read. If you're going to use like one single line, make sure that you don't write the entire line. Have some cuts and pointers so that it is readable. That way, this is really good. And I also like the part that he has mentioned, the skills, these keywords. The thing with these keywords is that half the time when you apply for bigger companies, the HR may not always open and see through each and every resume. They have these systems that extract keywords from it, right? So if you mention the right keywords, if you're applying for a data analyst positions, words like data analysis, the different tools, SQL, Python, MongoDB, data structures, these keywords have some mark allocations. So if you use the right keywords used in the industry, your resume will find its way to that particular system. So whenever you write a resume, right, make sure you have the important keywords associated with that particular job you are applying. So in case they have an automated resume selection mechanism as the first level filter, you will surely pass through that at least. So this is one point I wanted to put it across. So yeah, so use the keywords used in that particular industry. So that's about this particular resume. And if you see, there are a lot of people use photos. In the previous one, a photo was used. So anyone, what is your perspective on using a photo on a resume? Guys, anyone?
I don't think it would be a necessity,
Okay,
but I don't know how many companies would prefer or not prefer at all. That I am not sure.
got it. Understood. It's also important to note that resume is yeah. So we don't use college logos as well. So this person has a lot of experience in the industry, but if you see the person has 4 pages in his resume, even if you get Sundar Pichai's resume, it won't be more than 2 pages for sure. Okay, so it doesn't matter how much you have been, your resume shouldn't be like, I need to mention everything that happened in my life. No, it should be like the highlights of what highlights, not highlights that you think is important, but for the role, for the particular role you're applying, what would be the highlights from your career that matches that, and just have those highlights. Don't get so many pages. This person, for each project he worked in, he has put one page. So this probably shouldn't be done at all. And secondly, I understand the from where the person is coming from. The person was trying to explain uh the project description, and if you see over here also, there's some lot of company descriptions also written. So okay, we are mainly dealing with visualization reports. So I wouldn't say you need to write it. So these two companies are pretty big, so you don't have to explain what Nestle is to anyone. We don't need to know Nestle is one of the largest food company in the world measured by revenue and other metrics and stuff. So any person, even if you're not in analytics, you know what big of a company Nestle is. So don't waste that line on your resume. So just putting it out. And yeah, so that's about this resume. This resume needs to be tweaked up more. And yeah, in the previous resume, I forgot to tell you one thing. Whenever you're in consulting, right, also mention your clients. So maybe some person may not be, I'm not talking about this particular resume, but in general, maybe you may not be from a huge consulting firm, but probably your client is some big guy. So that way, when you use a client's name, that particular client's brand also becomes associated with you. So you might have consulted, say, some big Apollo hospitals or something of that sort. So that's a huge name. Maybe your consultancy XYZ may not be known, but Apollo is known. If Apollo is coming to you for consulting, if you have consulted Apollo, that means you have some brand with you, you have some knowledge with you. So leverage your client's brand as well. So mention who your client was. So this were two resumes from what do you say? Industry resumes. And finally, we also had a resume for a person who was trying to transition from one field to another. So this was one resume that we got hold of. Over here, if you see, right, can you tell me how this can be improved? Maybe I'll give you a minute. We are running short of time, so I won't spend a lot of time. So yeah, maybe you can quickly look through it.
There are many repetitive words like handling AP, handling invoice, and stuff. So
Yes,
possibly all these three bulletins can be combined to make one, so that it's not congested and too
perfect.
much to read. So a right
Perfect.
technical word would compact it and make it
That's
look
one
good.
point. Great, Apurva. I was going to come to that. I think, as you said, here also has a lot of responsible is repeated. So this is one point I wanted to mention. That's perfectly covered. So yes. So, in your job responsibilities, you don't have to mention every single thing that you did. So for example, say, let me sharing the process updates with the team and get implemented into process. This is anyone who's a manager who has people under him will be doing. This doesn't make you special. This is an extra information. We know that you have trained new joiners. That itself means you have done all of this. It's a pre-mandate. So this is unnecessary. You can get rid of this. And if you said train new juniors, new joiners, if maybe you only trained 2 or 3 new joiners, it makes sense to not mention the number. But suppose in case you had like 10 or 50 people training sessions, in that case, the number is big. Make sure you jot down the number as well. And similarly over here, responsible for, please avoid. Write only the important information, club in the points. So have probably 4 or 5 points. These many points are not required. And have the important points on the top. So if this resume was mine, and if I'm going to go into data analytics profile, this would be my top, responsible for publishing daily analysis reports. So I'm making some daily analysis reports. And so things that are more relevant for the analytics field, right? I would place them on the top. So that would be my way. So, you don't have to mention everything that you did. Just have few pointers that are important, that are umbrella term, and then have the ones that are relevant to the new industry, which you're trying to enter to on the top. So that would be my recommendation when you're changing from one industry to other. Have the ones that a new industry requires in the top if you have done any of that. So that would be my first pointer. Second, you keep on writing responsible. Responsible is not required. Instead, if you are responsible, tell what you did over there. What softwares did you use? What was the procedure? So too many responsible can be avoided for now. But there are really good points in this resume. This objective is very strong. So in your objective, a lot of people have very generic term. Whenever you read it, you won't make anything out of it. But this person was like, my objective is simple: to use my skills, knowledge, experience, so as to enhance the value to my company by serving in accounting functions of the industry. And he also has 6.5 years experience into finance module with reputed organizations. Within this word, he said how much experience he has, what type of field he wants to be in, what experience he has. Everything is summarized. And this is nicely done. So your objective should have your work experience or what you have and what's your expectation for the company. So I really like this. And see, this person also has mentioned, hey, my client, so this is his company, and this was my client, Walmart. So Walmart is a big brand, and Genpact is also has a very big branding. And similarly over here, the client was Samsung Electronics as well. So, when you use multiple brands, all these brands get associated with us. And who wouldn't know Samsung Electronics? So yeah, so use those as well, leverage your client's brand value. So that was also beautifully done in this. And probably your designation might have to be put first. So that is of more priority. So probably have your senior associate first, probably have your management trainee first. So, probably have the titles first. So this was about a resume of a person who's trying to change to a data analytics field from a business kind of technical business kind of domain. So this was like, write things that are more important for your new domain, keep it very specific, and leverage your client's brand as well for this particular resume. So yeah, this was few resumes that I have stored. And I've also got a few resumes. Guys, till now, any questions?
Does the filtering process differ for the ones coming out as a junior developer or a analyst, or compared to the senior developers or analysts?
So yeah, you need to check the work experience that you're applying for. If the company requires, the work experience, you'll have to, apply for the right, job. If the company says like 1 year work experience, probably if you have some internship experience, you can still go ahead and try it out. But if it's clearly stated he wants people from 3 to 5 years experience, there's no point in, sending a fresher's resume over there. Did that answer your question, or you want to know how these things are differently evaluated?
Yes, how these things are differently evaluated.
Okay, so from a fresher point of view, they wouldn't expect your work experience. But in your college, what have you done? So probably which college you're from also has a slight value to it. If your college is well known, brownie points for that. Your course has some value to it. And if you're not from a data science from some, I did mechanical engineering from NIT Trichy. So data science and mechanical engineering are not right away related. So in my college, I've done so many internships in data science field that I prioritize these things on the top of my resume, and they realize that, hey, this person has some experience in data science. So probably the courses you have taken, the internships that you've done in a data science field, and probably your writing experience. I mean probably some communication or some organization activities that you conducted in college. So these things will be given priority. So did that answer your question, Apurva, or
Okay.
else
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
know
Yes,
what is your
basically.
exact question? That's fine, right? So
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes. Thank you.
So that was pretty much it, because we are hitting the 5 minutes mark. But I'll also wanted to, yeah.
Sir, data science and data entry both are separate. Both are different.
Yes, data science is more of an umbrella branch. Okay, so data analysts are part, also come under data science, but they do a particular work. Data engineers are there, they do a different kind of data science work. And then you have data scientists who work more on the machine learning models and etc. So there are a lot of everything is not black and white in the data science field. There are multiple titles and specializations inside data science.
Okay.
And data science is like the umbrella word for us.
Okay. And data entry is different.
Data?
Data entry. My some friends are there doing data
Okay.
entry. So that's why now I am
Okay.
confused. Data science or data entry
Okay.
same.
So, okay. No. So I would say, data entry will be on the lower end of the spectrum. So someone who manually enters the data into systems, that would be more of data entry work. And then you have analysts who do some analysis on the data and give some recommendations. He's an analyst. Then you have engineers, data engineers, who set up the pipeline for the data to come in and the output to be given. So they work on this framework. They are data engineers. And you have data scientists. Unlike analysts, they use more complex models on your data. So this would be
Who
the
have
spectrum.
studied data science, they can be a data scientist.
Come again?
Who have studied data science, they can be data scientists. Not they will not go for data entry. Is it?
Yes, data entry. Someone who has studied data science wouldn't probably go for data entry work.
Okay, sir, I got it.
Yes. Okay. Priyanka. So yes, Chetan has some question. Yes, Chetan.
Surya, he's written it on the chat. So Chetan basically is asking ki, what does recruiter focus on more, the skills or the projects and case studies?
Skills or the project and case. Just a second. I'll share my screen again. Okay. The question was. Sorry, Dipanshu, come again.
Yeah. So the question basically is ki, what does a recruiter focus on more, whether the skills or the projects and case studies?
Okay. See, these are not like separate things, right? When you did a project, that means those skills are under the project. So instead of just skills are like your theory, okay, where you go learn a particular tool or particular concept, those come on the skills. And the projects are like where you implement it. So I would say both are required, and you need to have skills to have it in your project. So when you do projects, your skills are also built up. So we can't see this separately. But I would say have some course certifications and your learning to be shown. Have some projects as well. You need both. And when you have a project, it maybe if you do it on Kaggle, and if you have some Kaggle rank, that will matter more, because anyone can put a project, right? You can download code and write it, do it, and say like, hey, I did it. But it should be a little different. So you need to differentiate yourself. Probably, put it all in the GitHub respo and have it in your resume link. So even though they may not actually open it and see, but hey, this guy is confident enough to put up his code in the GitHub and stuff. So this guy would have stuff. So your resume at least go to the next level. So try to give some branding to your projects. And probably there are a lot of conferences happening, research conferences. You can try applying to these conferences. Right now everything is online. So maybe if you get a chance, some of the research conferences only need your abstract, 200 to probably 300 word abstract to get you selected for the conference. So if you can get through a conference and you present your work, you can say, hey, I presented in this conference. That means the conference gives a credentiality to your work. So conference, publications, these things matter. I mean, it's very tough, but if you have it, it's something like huge. So that's what I would say. Did that answer your question, Chetan? Yeah, good. So yeah, I
do
wanted
have
to.
one.
Yes, Dishant.
Uh, like I have built various small models, means in machine learning or deep learning. I have built
Hmm.
various models on whether it is an inbuilt data set of sklearn library, machine learning library, or I have imported Kaggle data set and done that analysis part and build various small models. But I did lesser projects on bigger, less projects on big domains like housing price prediction and something like that.
Hmm.
So should I put up the small model which I have made on my resume?
Yes, you can add it. Depends your what you need to put and what you don't have to put on your resume depends on what all things are there with you. So you'll have to put whatever that you have. It's the highlight of your resume that the industry needs. So probably if you have published a paper, say that would be more important. So it depends on your experience and what you have done, I would say. But that has a value. These projects have a value to it. So yeah, that would be my take, Dishant.
Thank you. That answers my
Yes,
question.
yes, got it. And yeah, probably try putting it in GitHub or doing something of this sort that adds a little more, credentials than simply telling that
Yes,
you're.
actually, I'm trying to build a LinkedIn profile as well.
Hmm,
Also, that I'm putting the repository on LinkedIn also to share to showcase my talent that I could do also. That
yes,
builds.
that also works. And have your LinkedIn, link also on your resume. That also works.
Yes,
And
yes.
finally, guys, I wanted to share.
Also,
Yeah, yes,
I'm sorry for interrupting.
no
Along with the
worries.
LinkedIn or GitHub profile and all that, how much does online portfolios hold a value? Like a website of my own where I put in all my projects and CV, resumes, and everything along with it. How much value
That,
would?
that has a lot of value. So even if you go for masters or something, MBA people also have try to create website. That has a lot of value. You can have a website that will be really good for your resume.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay, Apurva. And yeah, I think I just wanted to quickly share one last resume. Just a second. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
I couldn't listen. My screen is visible?
Not yet, Surya. I don't think it's not
Not
visible
yet, right?
from
Okay,
my.
just yeah, understood. Just a second. Okay, let me share this screen. We'll wind it up with this one resume.
Mhm.
Okay, this is another resume. This is maybe you can take 30 seconds to probably go through this resume.
Surya, will it be possible? Like, there's a lot of verbos in this resume. So if you can just scale it, zoom it up to just one single cell.
Yes. 1 second. Yes.
I think
Yeah,
that's
you
better.
can
Yeah, that's much
quickly
better.
check it out. This will works, right? Yeah. So guys, any feedback on this resume? Anyone? Guys, I'm not able to hear it.
Come on, guys,
It's a
speak up.
lot
This is
to
the-
read.
Yeah.
I would say.
There's a lot to
Lot
read.
No, and
So
in every
what?
sentence, there is a full
It's
sentence.
compact but congested.
Exactly. Compact, congested. So what do you know
But
about this person from this resume now?
he has a lot to say, and he's marginalized the left part as in summary, education, and experience. It's easily to pick out which part
No, I mean, like,
to
suppose
read.
now you are the
But
HR.
as in,
I meant you're the HR right now. You're reporting this to your, the industry people. Like, hey, we got a resume. What do you tell about this person? Like, who is this person? What has he done? Like, what would you say that?
it would take a while to speak about him because it's
Okay, so you still don't have an idea about that person right now,
yes,
though you
he
spent 2 minutes on
summarized
those.
a lot in
Understood. So
For
Dishant,
1 minute, yes, even looking for a 1 minute, we couldn't know where to start his resume for reading.
yes,
That might be a
yes. So yes, that's exactly the point. Okay, he or she, whoever this person's resume is, the resume, this person has done a lot of things. Okay, if you go inside, the person has been an assistant professor. How many did you notice that, Dishant or Apurva? No, right? That is a core of the person. There was so much information that in 2 minutes you guys haven't realized the person was an assistant professor to start with. So and I don't think HRs will spend 2 minutes even on a resume. To be honest, your first decision is taken like in 10-20 seconds. They go to the next, because these companies receive around 1,000, 2,000 resumes, guys. So your HR, if he or she spends 1 minute, right? That's a lot. So you guys spend 2 minutes and you still do not know who the person is. So the issue is, if I help you read, right, this person has done a lot of, I believe, lot of machine learning work, image classification work, intelligent systems, and all of this is something that the industry wants. We need people with such tech knowledge, and these knowledges. If you see, this person has a international IEEE conference, the person has been to that. This person has a IEEE review paper. From my understanding, review paper is only if you have a lot of domain knowledge, you write a review paper to summarize everything that's happening in a field. So, so these are very big things. The issue is there's so much information that I don't know what to read or where to read. There's no story, what is happening. It's very tough. So, and if I was the HR, right? Yeah. Yes.
But what if this process is automated by the company and someone is not actually reading this, but he has provided everything that's required? So reading would not be a process at all.
Okay.
And so he has provided all what's required and it would pick it. So his profile of someone picking his profile would be of a higher chance, wouldn't it be?
Provided there's an automated resume selection system, it'll pass to that automated system only. Even after that, then see, if there are 2,000 resumes, right? Maybe 75 or 50% may not pass to the system. Then HR will read and take only pass the next 10%. In HR's hand, this will again fall into an issue. Crossing the automated system is easy. If you have even 10 keywords related to the field, it will cross the automated system. That shouldn't be a worry. You don't have to put all the words in the industry. So did that answer my question, your question, Apurva?
Yes. So there is more filtering after automated process also.
Yes. Obviously, yes. So, machine learning has not gone to that extent to replace HR. So yes, so that's like an initial stage when you have 2,000 probably to filter out something that is not appropriate. Okay. So yeah, this person is really good, amazing resume. Everything is there, publications, presentations, experience. She has, she has a lot of tech. And even in data science, she has a lot of machine learning knowledge and everything. But the only thing is that now she doesn't have the leverage to dictate what people have to read. If you see this, right, this resume, this guy, he or she's like, hey, read this software engineering trainee I was. Hey, read this. I was an analyst at this particular company. But this person is giving me the privilege to select what I want to read. So maybe I'll read one line from random places. Maybe I'll read one line from here. That may not be a very big line. So you guys read for 2 minutes, but you never found out the person has some publications. You never found out the person was an assistant professor itself. So the advice is there are too many things. So first, I mean, at least 50% of the information should be removed from the resume. I mean, at least 70%, 30 to 40% should be removed from the resume, and make it readable. Tell what you want the people to read. Make that as the highlight. Your publications, your work that is related to data analytics and data science. There's a lot of things. Highlight those. And probably, right, everyone read probably Deenadayal or whatever the college name is instead of your role. So put this up, put the organization in the next line, and similarly whatever you want to highlight, highlight it, put them on the top. So yes, so that way you can make people what's important to read. So yeah, if these people haven't found out who you are after 2 minutes, I think HR wouldn't spend that much time on it all. So yeah, make it a little more readable. You have a good track record, so that will put you there. So whoever this SMA was. So yes, guys, yeah, that's pretty.
Thank you, Surya. So just everyone may know that it's my resume. Okay, so I have just one doubt. So how should be my career path further? Because I'm just transiting my career from academics to corporate, because I am very much interested in deep learning and data science field.
Yes,
So
so you have the
what should
yeah. Yes, you have the technical knowledge. From a resume point of view, you'll have to highlight that first. Whatever see, for example, there was this, where is that? Your publication, you have application signature-based traffic classification. So highlight these things first, and other, professor-related work, and other you can put a little back. And secondly, this session is just from a resume point of view. So maybe you can contact Dipanshu, right? He has a lot of industry network who are willing to volunteer and help out. Probably he will help you, put you with some mentor or someone who can guide you for this transition. So today's presentation will be only from a resume point of view.
Okay, thank you.
It's fine, right? You got some input from today, like that will help you, right?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So to whom I should contact?
So basically,
okay.
Swati, there are a few links mentioned in the chat. Just read through.
Yeah, I joined a Telegram channel.
You can, this is for reaching out. You can reach out to us maybe on on our Instagram, or directly file your inquiry on our website. We have a smooth procedure for that, and we'll immediately get back to you on receiving your response. So there'll be an inquiry form. You can just locate yourself to that address by opening the website, and you can just fill out your name and your details and what your queries you're looking to, and we'll definitely get back to you with a mentor, within our pool of mentors whose expertise resonates very highly with what your current profile is and what you're actually aiming for. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So yes.
Thanks.
So guys, before we close the session for today, right? I have so right now I haven't. There was one person's resume share. Let me stop sharing my screen and I'll share that person's resume. Just a second. Just give me 2 minutes, guys. Yes. Okay, let me share my screen. Where is... Oh, is my screen visible now?
Yes.
So this is one of the resumes that we got. Okay. So this person is from SRM Kathang Kulatur, 9.89 CGPA, exceptionally good profile actually. But that was one. I mean, what do you guys think about having these? Have you guys come across this anywhere? Anyone?
No.
Have you seen this in resume templates on internet? Anyone seen it? This kind of resumes exist.
No.
It's really nice.
Which part are you talking about? These circles with the skills?
Circles and the percentage of proficiency, I guess.
Proficiency in the technical skills, right? Okay, it looks nice, but tell me, how do you know, like, what does this mean? See, the only issue is over here is that this is very subjective, right? He says he's experienced like half the circle in machine learning. What does half mean? Against whom? What is the, how can I evaluate this? Are you getting it, Swati?
Yes, means we don't know
Yeah,
what means it.
that is the question again.
Yes. So honestly, if I was reviewing this resume, right, this is nothing for me. I can probably, only information I can get, like, this guy is better in C programming language than machine learning. That's the only thing I can make out of this. I don't know what this half means. What is the scale that he used to put this rating? So for automated resume checkers, they can't read infograms. So whenever you have some infograms, right, these pictures and everything, these automated machines can't read it. So this guy, probably some of these infograms have the important information embedded in this. So maybe here the resumes templates online, right? They have the C programming inside this circle, like an image. So he has all these keywords in this image, and this thing passes to the automated resume. This guy automated resume may not be able to read this particular image, and all the keywords are lost there itself. So avoid these these kind of graphics and everything. So this was another point that I wanted to bring up. This is like recently is becoming very popular. First of all, I feel my perspective is useless because I don't know what he is comparing against. But on second perspective, in the automated system, right, it won't pick up these diagrams. So if you have all your important keywords in the diagram and all, it will be lost. So this was one thing I want to share. And second thing is that some people had like a full gray background, black words written on it. Some had a dark pink background, words written on it. So these things do not sound, I don't understand. Even white background would have been better. By adding another background behind the text, right, it makes it even harder to read. So don't do those things. When you do some. So this was the latest trend I was finding. Like a lot of design heavy works are going in. So maybe if it's going to an automated system, it won't make it. But at the same time, I do not know the purpose of these. The bars. What should I compare it against? I thought I'll put this also across. So yes, guys, that's pretty much where we took extra 20 minutes also so that we could cover more information. We are at the end of a session. Any feedback? Anything you want to say? Any question?
Was a nice, very nice, informative session, I would say, and really helps us to know what a recruiter expects and what he wants to see in a resume.
Got it, Nishant. Thanks for the feedback, Nishant. Anyone else, guys?
And yeah, as a fresher, yes, it did help me understand a lot of things. Thank you.
Great, Apurva. Great. Any other feedback, guys?
Thank you. It was really very nice session, and it was needed actually. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati. That's why I just asked people to read out your resume and see what they found it out. So you have a lot of credentials and everything. Yes. I think that's pretty much it. I think Chetan has mentioned after the session, we get to know what to add, what to not. I know that's exactly the thing about resumes. You need to summarize the important things in that 1 or 2 pages. So yes, I'm happy that we got to cover the core essence of today's session. So that's pretty much it. And I would like to thank Viewing Learning and Dipanshu for organizing this.
Thanks to you,
Whatever,
Stephen.
I got even I got to learn a lot, going through these resumes and seeing mistakes and everything. and then reminiscing the things that I have done in my life. So it was even a very good session for me. So, and you guys also learned, it's all because Dipanshu was able to put this together. Thanks a lot, Dipanshu.
Yeah,
You can
thanks.
take
Thanks
over.
for taking the time out, Surya, and explaining up everything in a very interactive and a very friendly manner. I would have a lot to take out from this session, and can actually implement these things in their resumes as well, irrespective of whatever resumes we have heard. But all of us have something to take away home, and then actually can draft our applications accordingly. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks for connecting with us today on a weekday, on a weekend. Sorry, and yeah, we believe that today, we hope that today's session helped you out to get more clearer ideas and insights about how to draft your resume applications for data science roles. And we also hope that now you feel a little more closer to approaching the data science industry, and getting to know about the nitty-gritties and how to make your mark, and are comfortable to know how to consolidate your efforts in order to draft your application that highlights you from the crowd. And yeah, moving ahead, we would also love to lend a helping hand in your learning journey as well, by aiding you with our with support of our expert mentors for more personalized learning and mentorship at every step. And yeah, feel free to check out our website link shared in the chat, or connect with us on Instagram if you want to exercise any of our services. We'll definitely be able to connect you with one of our expert mentor who can take upon your queries, whether it be on a career front, if you want a more detailed overview as to what your profile lacks and how to build upon those skill sets. We can definitely set up a single session with you and our mentors. And if you want to come on board while learning, like if you want to have mentorship at every step while you're learning for data science, you want a mentor, you want to work along a mentor who can guide you with all your doubts that you face in the midway, whether it be conceptual, whether it be technical, whether it be any problems you are unable to solve, any conceptual doubt, you have learned something and you are unable to know what projects to work on for the same, that are acknowledged in the industry. Because so all these questions, we'd love to help you out for the same. And also, we also offer an extra 20% waiver on all the registrations that we have had for today's session. So feel free to check out our website. And yeah, thanks, Swati. Thanks, a really nice idea. Yeah, feel free to check out our website, and yeah, feel free to connect with us on Instagram, or on make an inquiry on the website. Our team will get back to you in a jiffy. And yeah, we can definitely, and we look forward to seeing everyone present in this session as future data scientists. Have a great day ahead, guys. Best of luck for all your future endeavors.